It's very difficult for the negotiators to get culture, quote unquote, to be included in the EPA. Europe has taken a position in the international negotiations where they exempt the cultural sector from liberalization. So at the World Trade Organization, they have taken what they call, and what's colloquially called, a cultural exemption, which allows them not to provide any preferential access to their market. In the EPA, for the first time, there is the beginnings of access to the European cultural market. On the one hand, there are commitments on entertainment services, which allow certain entertainers facilitated access to the market to provide services, and of course be paid for them too. And secondly, there's an agreement on cultural cooperation, which, just as it says, provides a framework for increasing cultural cooperation between Europe and the Caribbean. From our point of view, the EPA provides a real opportunity for cultural industries in the Caribbean. One, to improve their organization. Two, to improve their governance structures. Three, to allow their operators to gain financial benefit through trading as a result of the economic partnership agreement. And I think four, to enhance policy coordination within the Caribbean. A registry is a critical element, and it's great that Trinidad and Tobago really is leading the region in this area. It was interesting that when we concluded the negotiations, we were thinking that Jamaica, in fact, would have been the leader in this area because they'd already begun some work on a registry with respect to some of their cultural performers. The National Registry is important because it allows entertainers and cultural performers or cultural practitioners who are registered. It provides them with a step towards entry into the European market, again, to provide services. And it also helps in some domestic areas, of course, with respect to the funding support that companies are able to provide to cultural practitioners and receive tax benefits. But going back to the EPA also, the registry is important because it allows for some verification of the bona fides of cultural practitioners. You know, one of the issues with registries is that when we were thinking about it and discussing it earlier, there was a view that this would be a certification kind of process. This would that the registry would certify the skills. Really, in my view, and I'm not sure if this is the view of the ministry, but certainly in my view, the registry is just a register of the skills. It cannot say that I am a good writer, but it says that I write. And that in itself is important when you're faced with, say, an immigration authority in Europe, wanting to know why you want to come to the Netherlands and spend 3 weeks there. It's important to register, one, if you have any interest in exporting your service to Europe. Also, the one element of the Cultural Cooperation Agreement is a provision for joint productions, co-productions. Of course, we need as a country and as a region to sign a co-production treaty with Europe. But on the other hand, the EPA does provide the opportunity for producers to enter into co-productions with European producers. Those producers should definitely be part of the National Registry in order to facilitate that process. It's a relatively painless process, and for a performer, I would expect it to be useful in that it allows them to organize and to get a handle on what they've done. Many of these performers, they are all over the place, particularly if you're looking in the music sector. They know what they've done, but maybe others outside or others in the national community don't. It's an opportunity, say, not only for trade with Europe, but it allows promoters from other Caribbean islands to look on and assess whether the skills available within Trinidad and Tobago are relevant for shows or productions which they may be having in their countries as well. So there's a regional component to it as well. Relating to the EPA, one site certainly is the Europa website, which talks about the EPA from the European perspective. There's also the website of the former Caribbean Regional Negotiating Machinery, which is the crnm.org. And that provides both detail of the EPA as well as commentaries, pro and con, and some technical papers that were done during the negotiating process. So if I were someone in the region looking for information, I would go there first. In addition, there are national websites which could be accessed. The website of the Barbados EPA Implementation Unit is also an excellent source of information. It has guides on certain aspects of the Economic Partnership Agreement that are useful. And in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, the website of the Ministry of Trade and Industry also provides some summary information about the EPA. In addition, the International Labour Office has also done work on the Economic Partnership Agreement, so the website of the ILO's Caribbean office would also be a useful point of inquiry.